legitimate shot at this location based on what's happening at OCM, we are prepared to have those conversations and to do the outreach and to make and take tangible steps to not only ingratiating ourselves and becoming valuable members of the CB2 community, but also specifically with Paul's Place, because we understand the sensitivity of it. And I think at this point, it probably makes the most sense not to just talk about it in the abstract, but to let Rachel and Roz address kind of the steps that they've taken in Northampton in similar situations.
Sure, and just before you get started, you're directly across the street from the YMCA, which holds has lots of children's programming, a day camp, and they do after school for many of the schools, elementary schools in the area. I know my own daughter attended there for many, many years, so you would be facing that facility. But go ahead.
Well, you know, our intention is to function within the neighborhood and the community. Like any well-intentioned small business in any industry, we'll be reaching out to all of our neighbors, including and especially Paul's Place and the YMCA, to understand, first of all, to introduce ourselves, let them know who we are as people, get to know them as people, and understand how we can support their mission, and with respect to Paul's Place, how we can ensure that we're not interfering with their mission. We already own and operate a licensed retailer in Northampton, also a small town that struggles with addiction, homelessness. We deal with a lot of these organizations in our town. We've received no indication from any of them that we've posed a threat to their mission. We cooperate with them
fully, and we are very sensitive to
those types of issues. And
with respect to the YMCA, you know, we are on Main Street in downtown Northampton. We are between a cafe and a bookshop and a consignment store and an ice cream parlor and us. And that was, you know, a choice that we made by design. We did not choose to be in a industrial strip off the highway. We are downtown in a small college town and community because we want to contribute to that community and exist within that commercial district of real people and real locals. So we're fully intent to interact with the neighborhood here in the very same way.
And of those businesses that you are congruent with, your dispensary is, how many of those do you own? Just the cafe.
Just the cafe.
And am I right in that the cafe operations in the membership model? No, because that's what I've read. And there were quotes from you in that article.
No, ma'am. So we had for a period of time, we were open during the evening hours as a lounge. That is no longer.
Why did you stop?
Why did you stop?
Stopped because it wasn't, you know, proving
lucrative among other things, but you know,
really I've built a community around the cafe of people who appreciate that business for what it is, and we didn't need to expand it into anything else.
And that cafe has a liquor license, yes. So you have a liquor license right next to a cannabis dispensary license.
Wine and beer, yes.
Wine and beer, yes.
Okay.
All right. I have no more questions. Committee?
I mean, I would just be curious to hear a little bit more about
you mentioned that you've done
outreach for your master's location. I mean, can you just talk a little more about, you know, the types of outreach you've done? And I guess, you know, if you've had any sort of complaints, I guess, from the community, how have you sort of dealt with those?
So, that's like, I think, 3 or 4 blocks next to the store, and there was a lot of complaints. The chambers of Northampton, the chambers of commerce were also worried about it. Just like you guys, everyone in the community. We have 2 years experience about it. I think the first thing was to train our staff and to build the right experienced staff to deal with each of each of them will commute, but specifically this kind of shelter next to us. Chamber of Commerce, I think, also submitted really happy and I would say appreciative of what we did in the town. We are actually part of the Chamber of Commerce. We are the only cannabis store in town that are part of it. And we have great connections with them. We didn't have any issues with this kind of. I'm trying to think, maybe there was in the beginning, but no, there was nothing like specifically we are ready to address those issues. And we actually submitting to the OCM our social equity plan. It's basically helping those kind of communities. And that's basically it, you know. As long as things like that will issue, I think this our budget will be ready to deal with it. And as owners, we will try to see what the problems are, you know.
Yeah, so it's interesting. We got an email from your consultant, Ezra something, and he did not want to fill out the questionnaire and told us that it was inequitable and discriminatory to ask for so much information. And then he filled it out. When I said, well, if it's too hard, are you telling me a lot of this is required for licensure? The deadline's almost up. Are you telling me that you're doing a provisional license and there's going to be more time? In which case, we don't need to see you right now. And immediately the application, the questionnaire was filled out. And then I went and I did some digging. And I looked at all of your Massachusetts applications, 119 pages. You were required to do so much more than we are asking. I mean, it's insane. I don't even know how anybody gets licensed there. It's insane. So, additionally, as me, to be told that something that I'm doing is discriminatory against people of color was interesting. But yeah, thank you for filling that out. I'm wondering how we can be confident that there's not going to be another instance of like this membership model kind of backdoor consumption site, particularly right there. I mean, are you going to do another cafe? Do you have plans to do that? Are you looking to rent any other businesses on either side or in the neighborhood? How many licenses do you plan to do in New York? How are you going to operate it when you have a business in Northampton? Are you leaving that business and moving to here?
It's a compound question. Well, I'll let you guys address the.
Yeah, no, we have no plans to open any consumption site, and we have no plans beyond this location as of right now.
Okay. I have no more questions.
1 second, I just want to say. Sorry. The cafe consumption place is just the lounge. I don't know
The lounge was never.
what you found, no one has consumed anything in the cafe.
Are you really gonna make me do this?
There's literally.
Yeah.
And right here that says.
You guys.
Consumption.
I mean, we do deep dives. There's an entire article announcing your consumption of your membership model. You were quoted in it. It happened.
There's a meeting on January 5th, 2022.
I mean, this.
And then look up there. Racial notice is research or performing establishment.
It's a good opportunity to see how this will go for social consumption. I mean,
There's a whole thing. It's the information's out there.
That was never there. It didn't affect, as a matter of fact, there was no, the other day we just did a lounge and a cannabis store. There was never consumption. because of the there was not an option insurance wise. These article was before that. You can also check it. There was never assumption officially on the cafe because of insurance and because you can't do it and that was the issue. That was just important for me to say. So it's not.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone? Go for it.
Just in terms of security, I'm reading you have a comprehensive security plan. Security outside the building as well as inside.
Are you going to have security outside the building as well as inside?
So, as Simon mentioned, we didn't even start thinking about that, but yeah, that's the goal to have security outside and inside the store.
What education will you provide to your patrons on the products that are provided on campus?
What education
are you
about
providing to patrons that come in?
What education will you provide to your customers about cannabis that come in on the products?
So in our current store, we have a TV in the store that is basically showing lots of educational materials with a bench next to it and a very nice sitting area to just sit and listen and look. On top of that, we are trying to train our bartenders in the best way we can so people can actually come and ask the right questions. The first thing we say is basically that you should consult with your doctor because that's what we believe in. Because cannabis at this point is trying and hoping that it's going to do the right thing for you. So that's the first thing to do. If you have the right bartenders, and trust me, it was very hard to train all of our staff. And that's the key. People are trying to come and to actually deal with a lot of medical issues. And they need people that knows about it, cannabinoids, and what are they affecting, what they can't affect, what they should expect with their medical situation. And again, we're not doctors, we are trying to be, but that's the first thing to do. Know exactly how I don't really know exactly how I know will be, but do I think monthly or quarterly gathering over other than brochures and TV and very good stuff. There is not more than that to do. This is like the top education.
Any more questions from the committee? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Next, we're going to hear from 244 LTH LLC to be located at 244 Lafayette Street.
Hello.
Hi, this is
Michael Cohen.
Yes.
David Cohen.
Hello, Michael and David Cohen. This is a full licensure application for full licensure at 244 Lafayette.
Yes.
For an adult use retail dispensary. The principal owner is Jamie Cohen.
Yes, actually, we have a social equity person that's become part of the group just now.
Is this the same social equity person that is the principal of Cookies?
No.
Okay, so committee, the Cohens are also partners, or what is it, an MSA? Or your ownership at Cookies?
Of the cookie store on 6th Avenue. So we're partners there. Yeah.
So
They're not licensed yet there.
Okay, well, because of the injunction, yes, because I believe when you appeared before CB5 for that, it was prior to the injunction, and you were approved by CB5. Wait, were you?
Yes.
No, you weren't. You were not approved by CB5 due to your proximity to the plaza at Herald Square. You were 70 feet away.
958 6th Avenue.
So CB5 has something called GCL, which is their guidance on cannabis licenses, and they proximity restrict dispensaries from parks and plazas, even though the state does not. and you were denied under those circumstances, but as a card licensee, well, your principal is a card licensee,
He still is. Well,
well, technically,
hopefully.
we still recognize card here. We aren't part of the injunction. But yeah. So you have a different social and economic equity applicant attached to this new space. Where is that person?
So it's somebody that we're working with. They're not here tonight.
And how do they qualify for C?
So they come from a community that was adversely affected. They were also, they made less than 80% of the income of their community. And they were also arrested for a cannabis-related offense.
CDI,
And actually, it's a woman.
woman.
So
CDI
a
woman.
dependent was arrested.
Income. Oh, and qualifying conviction.
Yeah.
Is it a qualifying
I
conviction?
believe so, yes, and it was the dependent has the qualifying conviction.
Okay. Okay. What else we got? No delivery plans. You're not going to provide delivery, is that correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay. I did not look at your lease. Do you own the building?
We own the building, yes. It's an affiliated company that owns the building.
Okay. Your hours are 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. Sunday through Saturday?
I believe we wanted to amend that to 10 to 10. But
Standard.
and if possible.
Okay. Continuation. High-end dispensary. There are no letters of support from your tenants or neighbors?
I could certainly get those. I haven't yet gotten any of those.
Would it be possible? Mark, when is our full board?
Would it be possible?
Would it be possible to get them by then?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Yes.
All right, do you want to tell us a little about your business? Questions we haven't asked?
We just, we have a background in retail. We don't come from the illegal market, to be honest with you. We run retail businesses, and we just see an opportunity for a new market to run professional, well-run stores and managed properly. We're partnering with, like we said, social equity people to try to, provide opportunity. They're going to be working within the business. And yeah, that's it. We just feel like this is a time of change, and we've been in New York. We've been in New York retail for many, many years, and we feel like things are changing. We want to change with times.
Okay. Carter?
Okay.
Sorry, can I ask you?
Carter?
I didn't see a note. Was 244 Lafayette crops restricted? Or did we just ask for? Huh? Yeah.
But that's up to OCM
Right.
to make that.
Well, 242 was under 1,000 and this was
under 1,000.
over 1,000.
Over 1,000.
That's why we threw the other one.
Like I said, it's
Okay.
OCM's the decision maker, not us, but we should request that they review the survey since it's in such close proximity.
Okay. Anything else? Are there any questions from the committee?
My question on education.
So we have done things at our other location. We've done careers in cannabis fairs. We've done fentanyl awareness events. However, to tell you the truth, the other location is in a more commercial area with a bigger location. I think that we would do educational programs here, but it would be more limited and more in character with the neighborhood. This is more of a residential neighborhood, whereas our other location is much more accessible to transit and it's more commercial. So we felt like it lent itself to large-scale educational programs. This one, I think, would be more on a smaller scale, We're also looking to highlight local vendors and different, social equity manufacturers and makers. We feel like that should be an important part of our product offering.
Okay.
Okay.
Can I just ask, so you mentioned that you were going to look at an equity program for your employees. Can you, was that what you said? So, social equity program.
So we've been speaking to different social equity applicants that were looking to be involved with the business, and it's very difficult for them to really secure real estate. So we were able to partner with people. People have been coming to us to partner with us, knowing that we have real estate and that we're looking to partner with the right people.
Okay, no, sorry, I was confused. So that's for like co-ownership.
Yes,
essentially.
okay. It wasn't between three owners, actually.
It wasn't like you were going to be hiring, in terms of employees to work in the store. It's
Well,
you're talking about joint.
we have a history of that. To be honest, we've done that before. We've done open calls to hire people, but we like to hire a very diverse. We'd like to hire very diverse. Cannabis consumers come in all different shapes and sizes and colors. So we feel like it's important to have a lot of different types of employees. But yeah, we're certainly interested in providing opportunities to everybody.
So cookies.
Yes.
I've been there.
Welcome.
I've been to parties there where everybody's smoking.
Well, outside on the roof, we have a roof deck.
And there's music that can be heard all the way to 7th Avenue and 34th Street.
Like I said, it's a very commercial area. We try to do events in the evening. Look,
These are gigantic, like trap events.
Look, that's not something that we've encouraged. However, there have been different people that have requested to use the space. We really wanted to try to build upon the culture, especially when we weren't allowed to sell. So we thought it was important to really give back to the community and to make it a place for culture and social equity and cannabis. We thought we had the ideal situation because we had a very big roof deck, and like I said, we try to do events on a Sunday or in the evening. But we've been very, very strict with security. We've been very, you've been to our events. I hope that it was run professionally when you were there. It wasn't. Which one?
I'm for that.
I don't know. I look on the camera and I watch. I don't really go. But we've had like some rap things on the roof, but we've limited them to just, like 30, 40 people up there.
Stop.
It's New York. People want to be part of the energy, and we want to make it, an exciting industry. So we also, I just have to say, we also make sure that we don't allow alcohol. We found that by not allowing alcohol, so maybe you were at an event and somebody brought alcohol, but our policy is no alcohol is allowed. I don't know what event you were at.
I'm not going to say anymore.
Okay. Well, I hope you have fun, please.
Visit more often in the evening if you want to know what's going on there. But also for this space, right? We're not CB5.
No, this is different. Like I explained, this is much more
How much
residential.
do you plan on doing?
At this event, at this space, or
At this space on Lafayette? It's like
not part of our business plan. There might be some small neighborhood things that we do, like welcome to the neighborhood or things like that, but it's certainly not what we were planning. This is just a dispensary, no consumption.
You're going to put in soundproofing. I think you said you would.
Of course.
You're going to talk to the neighbors.
There's no outdoor space here. We just want to make it a cool place to go within the neighborhood. That's in character with the other boutiques and high-end stores.
All right.
Okay? And next time at the party, you gotta look for me.
Yeah.
There is a harm reduction facility close to you guys. Would you be willing to reach out to them?
Absolutely. I think we should, actually. I would like to. And we're gonna try to we'll try and reach out to them soon because I think it's important.
Yeah, we would want to, on that stretch, right? Each application on its own merit. On that stretch, it's very commercial. There's a lot going on. But to mitigate negative impact as much as possible, I would say reach out.
Absolutely.
All right.
Okay.
Anyone else?
I have a couple of questions.
Sure.
Right here. Hey.
Also raise your hand.
That's all right. So you said you were in retail for years. What retail? What kind of?
Our family business is a business called M&J Trimming.
Okay.
And we sell like we sell all different types of supplies, like buttons and rhinestones and feathers and tassels.
Okay.
And we've been in business for many, many years. And we just looked at our product line and realized like it's so complicated to do what we do. We could probably easily, convert to this new thing. So we've been working on it, and we think that we're getting a handle on it. I mean, it's a new business, but it has a lot less products. So we're confident that we can run it properly.
Okay, well, good luck with that.
Thank you.
Sure. And the other question I had was, you said the social equity person, and I think you answered William's question, it's ownership. But can you tell us a little bit more, break that down a little bit? Just to, are we talking percentage, like what?
So there's certain percentage, that's required, well, not required, but that for licensure, in order to be a most favored, I guess, applicant, and they fit that bill. And they'll be getting an ownership, 51% of the equity. Yeah, it's 51% of the equity.
So I would say that, it makes sense to have a C applicant, especially if they have that extra priority, because then it's extra priority. So that's what, I guess partners like these get out of it. I mean, it's not, I don't know, decide if it's a good thing or not, but that's what it is. It increases their chances of getting, because there's a 50% goal. The OCM the state has a 50% goal of social and economic equity on licensees.
You said there was a dependent who's also.
So,
Yeah, that's how it works.
do I need to explain it or? Okay,
I don't think anybody here needs that explained.
okay, it's all good.
All right.
So,
Oh, yeah, Pete?
Yeah, I just wanted to promote the facility across the street is Lafayette Medical
Approach.
Lafayette Medical Approach. And it's website is LafayetteMedical.org. It's a New York State affiliated alcohol and drug treatment center. And the website's got all the contact. And the
website's got only reach out to them. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
The next application we will hear is Enderman, 55 Street, Ronnie Almani. Oh, all right.
Oh, all right.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Hi. Hi. So this is an application for licensure for an adult use retail dispensary at an existing CBD dispensary at 55 Spring Street. The principal is Ronnie Almani. Simone Malinowski is with us again as the attorney. Go down. You've provided a lease because you've been in that location for a number of years. I'm going to cut to the chase. We have ample evidence that you have been selling THC products for some time. That would prohibit you from being licensed by the state, as the OCM has said many, many times, that if you're operating illegally past the end of prohibition, you're not getting licensed.
The truth is that we've been operating there for several years as CBD. We won awards. We won from Health 2.0 Commission. We worked as hard as possible to survive COVID. We survived all the protests there. Through everything Spring Street has been through, we've conducted, outreach to all of our neighbors with love, and everyone in the neighborhood loves us. We've hired employees of all walks of life, from social equity to employees that are of different races and color. inclusive for everyone, and we hit a point where
different races and
now
color, we believe in
the landlord comes and we're back rented from COVID. We paid rent throughout COVID. We did not stop. We continued hiring all of the employees, and we did have to introduce in the last couple of months some some products on a very small scale to be able to continue doing business and to stay there, because we've worked for so long to be able to get to this point, and no problem removing all those products. To be able to get to that point. Tell me now, right now, and continue doing business as CBD and try and be able to survive until we get the licenses.
I mean, your CBD reviews were great. I mean, I understand COVID was hard for everyone. But you're running an illicit shop. I mean, that's just what it is. Does anybody else have any questions?
Have you done any community engagement?
All of our letters,
most of our neighbors,
able to only send one in because I got like a bunch the next day, and I could get you letters from all the residents tomorrow. And the neighbors and the nearby shops and stores. We're not planning on doing any events, any noise on those scale, classy and boutique, just like our neighborhood.
What's going to happen when you submit your application to the OCM and they are well aware of what's been going on site?
Plan is not to have any of that product in the shop. Continue doing business as a CBD store and move those items until we are.
All right. Hi.
And if it's going to be even if you move us, we will want to close the
Yes.
What I'm saying is, if the board will approve us, we wouldn't even to close the store until the OCM license.
Because these are community boards, and this, I believe, is supposed to be a dialogue, and someone again who's in the city. We're all obviously grappling with the illicit dispensary question, right? I think it's fair to say the city is trying to deal with it, OCM is trying to deal with it. There are more and more opening up every day. It's something that we all see. There's recent legislation just came from the city council, where everyone is trying to figure out this issue. And it's one that, like, really the industry, everyone is trying to wrap their hands around and figure out where we move on from here. I understand, and I think we understand the board's position. You've heard what my clients have had to say about it. They are here because we won't call it transition, however you want to say it. Being within the confines of the MRTA, being within the confines of the OCM, what we're talking about is in the community where they've already demonstrated that they're a valuable part of the community and are connected with their neighbors. They have someone who's appeared here today who literally lives in the building, which is not often that you see with any business in New York. We're talking about people who are trying to do things the right way, who are standing here today after understanding that this question very well may come up.
Well, I did call you and tell you.
You did, but we're here, right? We're here.
No, that's great.
And I guess my point is, what's the alternative? Another vacant store that's on Spring Street? I mean, I don't know how long it would be.
That's Hot Block. It's not going to be vacant long.
Probably not. But you never know. And the bigger thing is like, we're all trying to find a way to transition from where we've been to where we're trying to get to from the cannabis perspective in New York. And we're here today because Endoman is trying to make that transition. And so, again, we understand what the committee's position is, but in the grand scheme of things, I think it's just important to hear that.
All right, last comment. You have been operating a illicit dispensary right across from a playground. It's just right there on Mulberry. Isn't it? You guys are between Lafayette and Mulberry, no?
Lafayette and Mulberry, yes.
Yeah, there's a playground on the corner, so I'm just saying.
In terms of the 1,000-foot, I mean, is there a survey that's been done relative to 481 Broadway?
We haven't done the formal survey yet. We know that it is on the razor's edge based on our calculations at this point. It is very slightly outside of the 1,000-foot measured from the center of the entrance to the center of the entrance. But obviously that will be firmed up.
I actually measured it, it was 1,056.
The being outside of the 1,000-foot number will be confirmed.
Okay.
With regard to playground, speak for as we are as a CBD. Sorry. Even as a CBD shop, before any of the introduction to the minimal products that we do carry, that is, we have been checking IDs since the beginning, since we opened, since CBD was not even meaning known, to make sure that and it's 21 and over even for CBD. I take extreme measures when it comes to security and the safety of our customers to make sure that there's, God forbid, nobody under the age of 21 even for the CBD. So the measures that we will take, should we get a license, you can be sure that is one of my utmost priorities. Always has been. I've managed. I'm born and raised in Europe. I've managed. If you remember David's shoe stores, I managed those stores. I grew up here. That's the last thing that was always my top priority is, the happiness of the customers and to make sure that we're providing everything accordingly as much as necessary.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I know. Next up, Grand Peconic Ventures LLC. Thank you for complying.
Evening.
You made it too big.
So.
Oh, yeah. Mitch Kulik.
Yes.
Hi.
How are you?
How you doing again?
All right. So I'm here on behalf of Juan Torres, who's. Why is that?
No, go ahead, please.
Okay. So he's the founder and majority owner of Grand Peconic. He can't be here today. He is an expert witness in a federal trial, not in the state of New York. As you'll hear as we go through his background, he served in the military for 18 years, very distinguished, service-disabled veteran, has his own security company, and is an expert witness around the country. So he could not be here tonight. He wishes he could. He would be here instead of me. So the address of the dispensary is 598 Broadway. Was there any questions about that address?
We've gotten a number of emails about that address.
Right, okay. Because I did see that there was other people who had that listed as an address for their application.
They have not submitted.
They didn't. They can't.
We might have gotten a withdrawal from one of them.
Right. We have a lease and site control for that site. And have paid a considerable amount of money to hold that location.
We got a withdrawal.
Right.
And the other one is the guy that put in 15.
Oh, okay, fair enough. One thing, when you come to meetings like this, you sort of listen before you get up and see what are the concerns and sort of get a good idea of what you're going to be asked to answer. So in anticipation of the community outreach question that will come, we just signed a lease. Next to me is Paul Yao. I think he's known to most of the members of the committee, who is involved with Union Square, which is also in CB2, and they understand their obligation and their desire to make good neighbors and reach out and knock on doors. It's hard to do that when we just signed a lease. I think the gentleman spoke before, it's a little bit, it's sort of cart before the horse. I know that that's something, it's just the challenge of cannabis, just like paying $100,000 or more to hold a property where you might not even get a license at, right? This is the challenge of cannabis. So, apologies for not having more to report on community outreach. I think that Paul and his group are well known to the committee and know that they will do a good job with that. And if it is the committee's desire, they will start to do that before they have a license, but they certainly couldn't do it before they have a license. Right. Do you want to hear more about?
I would like to respond to the difficulty in doing community engagement. We facilitate that all the time for people who have, matters before the board. We do our best to connect them with the neighbors. Paul here knows very well that this is our procedure, and it was an issue with Union Square Travel Agency. Ultimately, the operators came around, but it's concerning that, again, you're here and still we're not doing anything until we're licensed, and which is literally what you wrote. Like, we're not going to talk to anybody until we're licensed in your application, in your questionnaire. That's typically historically a problem for CB2. Additionally, if you're looking at a location, you want to start a business, one would think you would want to go check out the block, talk to the neighbors, see what's what, especially if you're laying down a ton of money to secure this conditional lease without any assurance that you're going to get licensed. It would, for me, be the first thing I did. Let me make sure that this is a suitable location at all, and I'm not going to have problems on the back end. And so, that argument of it's hard and we don't want to do it because we're afraid people will speak against us. I'd want to know that up front myself, and it exhibits, it's not the best way to show what kind of neighbor you're going to be, or it's a very good way to show what kind of neighbor you're going to be going forward, and it's not good.
Hopefully, the affiliation with Union Square in this application would convey to you, I think that you've seen Union Square now operate for this period of time in a way that is, good neighbors to their business community. And also, they do a really nice job of keeping the sidewalks clear. They do not have loud parties, and there aren't people smoking outside the dispensary. And so hopefully the committee would take that under advisement. I don't think I said also that anybody was scared to meet the neighbors, and so it was just a timing issue. If the committee wants the group to meet with neighbors before they get the license, now that the lease is signed, that's something that absolutely I will read them the riot act on and get them to do. I don't think it's a hard riot act because I think they would want to do it. It's just been, it's just a timing thing more than anything. So it's not the greatest excuse, but it's the real excuse of why it has gone this way. Pause there, see if there's any other questions or two.
No. Anyone? Oh, we did. So, yeah. Multiple. Yeah. Did you want to talk about it?
Hi, yeah. My concern looking at the questionnaire was that it was stated that it's a fully commercial building, and there are 5 residential JLWQA units above. And if the lease has been signed and the landlord didn't inform you of that, that's one thing. And it's readily available online, so the residents there have previously, when they were selling applications, engaged with applicants to work out any various potential conflicts. So, as you guys stated, it just is concerning that that's all being pushed off. We'll deal with it later when this is the opportunity now to try to work things out if there are any problems, because there's been no conversation. So anyway, that's.
Yeah. No, and it's a fair comment. It's also unknown to me. It is possible typically in situations like this, the landlord is reaching out to those tenants. I don't know if that took place. I can find out and report back, but usually that when we're doing this, the landlord is reaching out to the other tenants where they sign a lease.
Well, you guys are really spreading out. You have delivery site here. I've seen you at several CGS events and one CGS. Have you done any? No CGS. But you do have delivery kiosk here on site. And I have seen you at events.
Definitely.
With, this mobile delivery situation that you guys are doing on site, several places. So how many applications, how many other dispensaries are you involved in?
How many other
We're involved with Union Square. That's the only licensed dispensary we're involved in today.
But I mean, how many more are you going to apply for? By November or December, provisional or full licensure for this round? How many?
Or full licensure for this round?
Statewide.
We're just a minority investor. We're actually not a lead applicant in any.
How many?
There was a few existing card applicants that we had invested in to get them off the ground and then caught up in an injunction.
Who are your community partners?
In CB2, we've partnered within Union Square. We've partnered with neighbouring businesses. We've got a very good relationship with the condo board above us. They've written letters of recommendation for us. Within the store, we've partnered with New York City to do education, give out lock boxes, try to encourage and educate people on safe consumption of cannabis. We have partnered with CJEI, which is a program which seeks to bring formerly incarcerated into the store so we can help facilitate them into the people formerly incarcerated into the legal industry. We partner with Unlock to try to transition people from legacy to legal. There's probably a bunch of other things which don't come to me right now, but we really do try to, foster good relationships in the community.
So this is not, Doe Fund is not the partner on this one at all, or are they?
No.
They have nothing to do with it.
No.
Sorry.
We're just minority, passive investors in this license application. And we'll be seeking to consult to this licensee to bring out.
Did you give me a number of how many? Statewide, you are minority partner or majority partner that you'll be applying for in this round?
I said I'm a minority. I personally am a minority investor in Union Square, one other, and this.
Okay. Anyone? Questions? Carter?
So I guess I'm a little confused because it says clearly on the questionnaire that's submitted that, do you have any interest in any other cannabis businesses anywhere in the world? And the answer is no. But yet you're here in front of us presenting, and you're the CEO of another organization. And I'm just very confused as to how the materials that we have were submitted in this fashion. And then on top of that, it would seem to me, from my understanding, in this round of open windows for applications, people are only going to be able to receive one license. And it seems like you're jumping in here and actually getting their second license when the majority of people here is their first licenses. And I'm just curious if you can address that, because that's not my sense of the fairness of the process. And I guess I'm just confused by the materials that were submitted to us. If you could just address that.
I'll address the first question about the materials that were submitted. They were submitted on behalf of the applicant, Juan Torres. And so this is his only license. Is any, if you're in the cannabis license realm, there's an application is a snapshot in time, but then so now you get a license. Now you might need a capital partner, an operational partner. And I think Paul suggests things that he will be a minority partner to support this licensee, because what we've seen, if anybody's been paying attention, with the card licenses, they give out 177 and 20 are open. When you give someone a license, but you don't give them property and capital, and pair them with somebody who knows what they're doing, don't open. So this person, a number of people, the fact that Paul's only involved in 3 is amazing, because the amount of people that reach out to us to get to Useware, because it's acknowledged that they're running a great store, that they do a great job. And so this person reached out, say, hey, I meet these qualifications, but you know what qualifications I don't meet? As a service disabled veteran, as a Dominican-born person who lived in Brooklyn for 18 years and lived in these communities, I don't have the capital for this. I don't have the operational expertise, but I have this. I do fit these categories. Can you guys help? So if he were to get a license, he has someone who is willing to support his effort. But he is in control. He owns the majority of the company, and that certainly is compliant with the way the laws are set up.
I think it's great that you guys are working with returning citizens, pathway to entrepreneurship or employment in the cannabis industry. Can I ask about Union Square? Have you figured out a way to create that same path for the men in blue? And has the Doe Fund finally stopped drug testing their program participants for cannabis?
I don't think we really need to talk about the Doe Fund.
You're right. We're not. Mitch, is your firm in any way involved in any of the parties involved in the injunction lawsuit, the Gurkay lawsuit?
So are we involved in the injunction? No.
No, you're not representing anybody. That's
the firm brought one of the lawsuits which was different than the Fury lawsuit, was to challenge them to. So the firm also represents growers and processors. And you guys are probably aware that the state started the program through the hemp growers and processors in the state to give back to them, since they lost a lot of money in 2019 and 2020. They're also social equity people, right? Distressed farmers. But what the OCM did, I just sort of mentioned it, right? They 477 licenses and 20 stores open. So we have a lot of farmers who are distressed, a lot of clients who are distressed, who have no place. So by a law firm, okay, hey, OCM, did you read the statute? It said open it up for everybody at the same time, give half the license to social equity and half to others. You didn't do that. And so now, as a result, you've created more. So now you've given licenses out to people who can't open stores. You have people spend money to grow marijuana who have no place to sell it. So open it up, which, by the way, I believe the result of that lawsuit is the opening up of this. I believe we're here today because of that lawsuit. And there's probably a lot of lawyers in this room who will tell me later, they told me already, they love the lawsuit, but they would never have brought it because they wouldn't like the heat that would bring upon them. But we brought it for the betterment of the program. And so maybe when a lot of lawyers get up and talk about it, you can mention that you know that the laws, that's why we're all here. Otherwise we wouldn't even be here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm trying to the equity rules that Carter was referencing. And, I know on the card website, it says, no one other than a passive investor can have interest in more than 3 retail dispensary licenses. I understand, I guess, that the OCM is putting out sort of soft guidance that the first round is only 1. So I'm trying to understand, exactly how that comes in. And I guess for your role, Paul, are you considering yourself a passive investor? Are you working with them on the actual functioning of the dispensary? I guess I don't, OCM doesn't really define it. So just trying to understand, the equity structure that they're going for and how it works.
The card guidance is not relevant to
just OCM guidance, which says no more than 3.
It says that you can't be TPI in more than 3.
Yeah.
I don't think the way that this is set up, that Paul would be a TPI in this license, there are guidelines that you can, and parameters you can create, so you're not becoming a TPI. So you're becoming a passive investor, and you're using your knowledge from having run stores to provide consulting advice. The employees will be employees of the licensee, but they'll be looking to other people to help guide.
Right.
Them to be successful.
So is there no, I'm just because the rules are a bit Byzantine, I'm honestly just trying to understand. So is there no limit on the number of dispensaries that someone can quote unquote be a passive investor in? Is that true?
Yes, that is true.
Okay, thanks.
I just, as a follow-up, I'm sort of, I guess, a little confused why if you're not a TPI, you're here presenting the application, which I think is
the
nexus of that issue.
Right. I'm not a TPI either. I'm here because Juan Torres couldn't be here, and I didn't want it to seem disrespectful to the committee to not have anybody show up when I submitted an application. So I'm here on behalf of
your representative.
And Paul is here because he is going to help this business succeed. And so we thought it was respectful to show up and present and answer questions. So that's why we're here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
So that's
See, next up, Yogi Krupa. Yogi Krupa. Ketan Shah. Hi. The address is 171 West 4th Street. How are you?
Thank you, coming to good.
Hi.
How you doing? Nicholas Terzulian, attorney for Ketan.
Oh, sorry about that. Wi-Fi. I'm good. 171. There we go. Okay, so again, adult use retail dispensary application for full licensure. Yogi Krupa, 171 LLC, to be located at 171 West 4th Street. Adult use retail dispensary owned by Ketan Shah. Yes. It is currently a smoke shop. We did visit you.
Thank you.
Not selling illicit cannabis.
Nope.
We
can.
So you had your lease for some time. We see it.
Yes.
Ground floor. That block has a ton of illicit. How long have you been there?
Over 7 years.
7 years? Let's see what else. Sorry, yeah, no. Are there any residential apartments in that building?
On the top, yes. Couple of apartments on the top.
How's your relationship with your neighbors?
Very good.
But we didn't get any letters of support.
We are working on it, and you will get it emailed soon.
Okay, great news.
And your hours are 11 a.m. to 9 daily?
Yes.
Are those your current hours?
No, current hours is weekends we open late, 11 p.m. like.
So you have a hemp license right now.
Yes.
and you sell paraphernalia, all licensed, right?
Yes.
Some of that you're gonna have to give up with cannabis.
So we will do whatever it takes to comply to get the license and whatever the way it goes.
Can I ask why you would want to do cannabis? I mean, in this climate, it's not a sure thing by a long shot, and you appear to have a successful business.
Yes.
Why? What made you want to switch?
Not really switching, but it's a new opportunity to have, and I would like to explore it.
Also, don't have so many competitors in the market.
Yes, so many smoke shops without the license. It's hurting our business since last 2-3 years, like crazy.
Why are the illegal smoke shops hurting your business? Because you're legal?
We are licensed, we have to comply with the laws. They sell everything, like out of state cigarettes, THC, cannabis, whatever. It hurts.
It hurts.
Can you explain your business? You have outdoor space?
We have a backyard space in the back.
Would that be available to your customers?
Yes.
I'm sorry, it will not be available to customers. Yeah, it will not be available to customers. We do not intend or will allow customers to smoke in the back at all. It'll be used for storage in a break room, break area for the employees when the weather permits.
Is there delivery on there?
Yes.
Yes. Just do find delivery. Tell us all, please share your delivery plan.
Sure, we plan on, really complying with the guidelines set forth that OCN provided. Our delivery employees will, we're gonna, first and foremost, will be a safety plan to ensure that customers, employees, and our delivery employees all comply with the guidelines of the law. They will not be congregating outside, will not be permissible. We plan on delivering really basically to the community in a very small radius at first, and see how it goes and expand from there.
All right, and you'd be willing to stipulate to no use of the outdoors?
100%. Yeah.
And you will talk to the neighbors prior to making it a break room for your delivery. Are you gonna have bicycle delivery?
Yes.
Or it says foot mostly here.
I think we'll have bicycles as well.
Consider public transportation. It's been successful for other dispensaries in our district.
For sure. Thank you.
Just to keep the bicycles, would you stipulate to no e-bikes at all?
Yes.
All right, does anybody else have any questions? Go ahead.
I neglected to ask this question before one of the last applicants, but for existing businesses, have you been in communication with your landlord? And with the changes with this, or just, I asked that because they're obviously complicated financial ramifications for the landlords if they have any other types of loans, etc. on this. Just curious that conversation you've had.
So we will talk to landlords regarding trying to get the license. They are okay. They support. Yeah. They support.
But my concern is just there wouldn't be any reason that they might have to take action on any outstanding mortgages, etc. That's been discussed. Okay, that's
I'm just going to ask about security. So you mentioned you'd be doing security checks every 30 days. Security tests every 30 days. Can you just explain what that means?
I believe the sentiment of that is it's a required stipulation of the Office of Cannabis Management. And really, our security plan is going to mirror what they want. Kitan is a small business owner, and really this is kind of lived the American dream, and this community has given him the opportunity to grow and succeed. He came here as an immigrant, and he's done everything the right way, and complied with the rules, and our goal is to do the same thing if we were
Yes.
And this is your only smoke shop?
No, I have a couple in Long Island.
Do you have any other applications for cannabis licensure in the state?
In the state, might be there, yeah.
So you're looking to transition some of your other locations where?
Well, on Long Island, where he owns his other smoke shops, the locations are not, they opted out of cannabis retail altogether at the moment. If those municipalities ultimately opt in, which I'm not sure if they will or they won't, but if they opt in, we would consider, but there are no other active applications at the moment.
Intended?
Right now, we couldn't apply for the Long Island locations if we wanted to, because they opted out.
You don't have any
Other smoke shops in New York City. Okay. Committee members? No?
Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you so much. The next application we'll hear is 420 on 4th. Hi. Thank you.
Yeah, unfortunately, our third partner was supposed to do the presentation. His father's under.
And that's the principal, correct?
Well, no, we're all gonna be managing member. We're all gonna be, oh.
The percentages you submitted
Third.
state that the missing member is the principal, the principal owner.
Well, based on the percentages, it's essentially a third each. 33%.
There it is.
What's the address?
420.
No, it's 170.
I mean, yeah, 170,
170
170 West 4th. Okay, here it is. I got it. All right, so this is another application for full licensure of an adult use retail dispensary to be located at 170 West 4th Street. Principal owner is Jimmy Sands of New York, New York. Roman Ivanov of Oceanside, and Miroslav.
Wow, perfect.
Gotcha. Diduk.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
I would
From
think I'd say
Forest
everybody.
Hills. Jimmy has a little more than everybody else, but not much. And you look to open February 2024. This is a minority-owned business.
Correct.
You have a lease, which you submitted. I'm guessing Jimmy is a resident of CB2,
Right.
since you live out of borough. Okay, proximity looks fine. You guys did a great job filling this out with the parks. Okay. 5, 6, 7, 8. Community outreach. There it is.
We didn't attach because Jimmy said it was going.
So you don't have
Letters?
those letters?
We're gonna get them either tomorrow, Friday, and upload them and email them to you. Like I said, we weren't able to see them.
And you
because
have referrals from Tio Pepe and Burrito Loco?
The adjacent business.
So Jimmy asked his parents to co-sign his application?
No, it's not the application. Yeah, his dad is not really, I don't know if you know his health situation.
All right. And the co-tenants, so the Sands own the building.
Correct.
The parents own the building and the tenants of the building are the family.
No, not all of them. I mean, the parents live following blocks of Jimmy. The brother, one brother lives in that building. I'm not sure where his sister lives.
So there are no other residents in
There
that
are other
building,
residents in that building.
but you guys haven't had a chance to speak to them.
We spoke to a couple of them. The letters are gonna be available tomorrow. Jimmy has the letters. I just don't have the names.
All right.
Yeah. I thought I did a proximity check. Here is a school.
It's about
Great
600.
Oaks Charter School, 240 Bleecker.
Great Oaks is 1,050.
We'll check it.
Oh, is that
William?
There was church.
Yeah.
And the hours are comparable to the restaurant?
Yeah, we were basing the hours based on the adjacent businesses, the both restaurants on each side. That's basically their hours of operation.
There's a huge sidewalk shed in front of that property.
I believe it's from the restaurant.
It's from Tia Pepe. It's gigantic.
Right.
It's gonna block your entire storefront.
Well, one option would be to take it down, and I'm sure, they have plenty of space available, so we could definitely talk to the landlords and see if they would be willing to. We're not planning to have any congregation on the outside. The security plan that we have in place is to make sure there's a very limited amount of people in front of the store, those who have reservations. And then if your time slot is not, later, you're gonna have to come back. Because the intent is to have somebody in the front, checking IDs and controlling the traffic. Because I've been there.
That's that type block.
I've been there, hundreds of times. Restaurant, and yeah, it's hard to pass. And when people are outside, smoking, whatever, especially during COVID, but not as busy as they used to.
It's so tight there. I don't even walk down that side of the street ever. Because it's, it makes you think, is this the best place?
Well, did you upload the pictures with the storefront or no?
So we are all familiar with the storefront. We live in the neighborhood.
Part of the condition will be to take down the shed, I think it's an eyesore personally, and it was full during COVID, but I haven't seen anybody sitting there since then. So it could definitely be, something we could discuss, and I'm sure they won't mind.
Yeah, but it's seasonal, right?
Yeah.
Does anybody have any questions? Comments?
The idea is, that it's vacant essentially. They're gonna be able to collect rent from a store. I'm sure they won't mind. They're not gonna use that place is empty for.
They're gonna be collecting rent from their son. They own the building.
Different entities. His son, he's not part of the real estate organization. He's part of the, he has his own ventures.
So the landlord of this particular location has consistently and regularly voted no to every legal cannabis application that's come across this board. Every single one, emphatically, often the only one voting no.
Well,
just so you guys know.
And we also know that.
Does the landlord know?
His health situation, he's been using products, prescription, and it didn't help. So I think that's what I feel like change of heart was.
Maybe. It would have been nice to hear from Jimmy.
I don't know what's going on.
Well, hopefully that's not the case. Very sad. No more questions? Thank you, gentlemen. Next up, Blazing Up, 178 Bowery, Miguel Bernard. Hello. I see you guys just sent us some more materials. Presentation. Give us 1 second. But it's very fancy. Spread, it's very fancy deck. It's very colorful. Thank you. It's the outside of the building. Yeah, I'm gonna send it to you guys right now. So I'm gonna email it right now. My computer's really old and it won't let me move the computer. But I'm gonna send it to the committee right now. So this is an application. Do you want to read it out?
We have minority business. It's a card license. You're applying for a card license?
No. They were
a card. Okay. And the principal is Miguel Bernard.
Yes, correct. That's me right here.
Okay, hi Miguel.
Hi.
51% and Matthew Ward. Hey Matthew. And the landlord is Penny Chen. That's you? You're here? No? Oh, sorry. Patricia. I'm sorry. Apologies. Yeah.
Well, what's the only, what is your role?
Yeah. I'm Yinlin. I'm part of the team. I do know the landlord. But I am not the landlord. As a community member, I'm first generation Chinese American and family grew up in the Chinatown area. So no, I'm part of the team, the Blazing Up team, but not officially on the cap table.
Will you be working at the dispensary?
Yeah, I'll be a part of the build out of the operation of the business, but not necessarily day to day in the business.
I'm unclear.
What's that?
I'm unclear as to your role.
Oh, I am part of the launch team for the retail store.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm going to be the operator via a management service agreement with the owners.
Okay. And Matthew, are you also part of the MSA or are you an actual owner?
Yes.
51, 49?
49, right, yep.
Okay, cool. Was there an issue with this location? What was with your first location?
To one of the other.
I have that you're 427 feet away from Sarah.
Yeah, in CB3.
Yeah,
As you're moving east.
And within 400 feet of Broome, which is not yet licensed, but was approved by us.
Gotcha. Yeah, we figured that out when we arrived.
Yeah. Any engagement? I don't see any letters.
Yeah, so we reached in hand as of this moment. I'm a resident of CB2. I live up the street. Laura and Pete and Sean Sweeney and those guys in my neighborhood and DID, like we're doing things together now and they're supportive. You know, Ben Yee and I go back 11 years. You know, he was Manhattan Young Democrats with me. So I think we're gonna have support for sure. I think we're gonna have.
Also, Wilson Tang, who's across the street, is a friend. We've known each other for 7 years. Obviously, Penny owns the corner unit as well as the unit across the street on 183. We've reached out to those landlords as well.
Yeah, I will. Yeah. Initially, you guys gave for a different address right next door. Yeah, technically right next door. Yeah, technically right next door. And you submitted today.
Yes.
So your clock actually starts today.
Okay. Okay.
That's all.
Okay.
Is there anything else that you'd like us to know? Is there anything else you'd like us to know?
No, we're big homeless advocates. That was my initial career, was as a homeless resource center counselor. And I'm excited to work with Bowery Mission across the street. They're a legend for sure.
Have you reached out to them?
I haven't heard
back from them yet. But yeah, for sure, that'd be exciting to address that issue. It's in every neighborhood. Yeah.
Wait, guys, if you're that close to Bowery Mission, aren't you prox restricted by Gotham?
No, we're far enough away from Gotham. Yeah, we're at the very end of that block.
I didn't teach any of you to do the proximity checks yet. No, you got it. I'll show you.
We're just like barely outside of Gotham. I know what you're talking about there.
Yeah.
Over on
Yeah, I have my Google Maps tool that you're probably using to measure the distance.
I have many tools, yeah.
Well, I use one of the tools in your toolbox, and I think we will get right on that evaluation.
All right.
Ask something more. Ask a question.
Yes, sure.
Yes. Okay. So what is I'm just reading through what is Auntie Lola's?
That's the new brand that we came up
well,
with.
that's the brand name.
that we came up with. Well, that's the brand. Yeah, these are last minute. That we made going into the application. You got it. That we made going into the application.
Okay. So it's blazing up DBA Auntie Lola's.
There you go.
Blazing up DBA Anti-Lola.
And I saw there was a yes answer to other cannabis business interests. Can you just go over that again? I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, for sure. So I've worked in the industry for 7 years legalizing markets out of state. So I was a lead strategist that legalized Michigan, moving it from medical to rec, moving that same year I did Oklahoma through the ballot initiative process. That's why I met Alan, was in Michigan. He's been operating for how long?
In Michigan since 2018, started my career back.
So I've been operating in Michigan since 2018, also as a consultant. And then how my career started back in 2007 when I was living in Los Angeles. So you got some serious cannabis experience on the team and reapplying cards, and I'm a resident and of CB2.
Can you go over your events that you're planning? You said 5 to 10 times per year.
Yeah, for sure. Ian, do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, those would be private events, for community leaders, for organizations that want to introduce the plant to their community. Obviously, being API, we know that there's quite a bit of resistance, especially amongst elderly Asian Americans who tend to be more conservative. So doing a lot of that community partnership, making sure that they can experience what the plant is like, because oftentimes we hear once they understand what the benefits are, they are more pro-cannabis than they actually say they are. So doing a lot of those events, nothing like crazy parties or anything like that. It's just educational events and community gathering events. I have a question, sorry. So aside from those events that you're going to do for education, which is, I think that's fine. How else are we going to get back to the Chinatown community? I see you have 2 Asian API restaurants, but they're not owners. Like, what are we? How are we going to get back? And I understand Bowery Mission, that's great, but you're right smack dab in Chinatown, so.
Yeah, no, yeah, I'm sure we're at the very kind of the very top of that right there. So Yin and I, we originally got together through politics, doing API, voter registration, civic engagement work all throughout Chinatown. We did a huge rally down there with the mayor and stuff, or the mayoral candidates, I should say. So we started to kind of invest in the idea of how hard the restaurants have been hit down there and how much disenfranchisement have been happened through the pandemic. So I think that one of the things that we want to start educating on is that the cannabis industry isn't poison and that it could be actually of social and economic benefit. Start working with Welcome to Chinatown and CPC and stuff and try to see how we can maybe make this work for them. There's a little opposition, but for sure. Yeah.
I'll just add that we know Lynn House CBC quite well, and definitely will partner with him in his initiatives. Victoria Lee, who founded Welcome Chinatown, know her really well as well, and Chris Marte, obviously, who's our council member. I actually studied abroad with him when I was in college, so we go way back. And definitely we work closely with him to create partnerships that are, you know, of value to the API community.
Will these events, so just community events, no parties, no DJs,
No.
nothing crazy like that?
No.
Interesting. Are you, so you're doing bicycles for delivery?
Yeah, Alan, do you want to? Deliveries, you know, in New York City, obviously, it's a little other towns and other cities. It's hard in a car, so, you know, we would deploy bicycles within 2 mile radius. So it's pretty straightforward. You know, obviously we'll have different types of apps, different types of ways that, you know, clientele can be educated on what we carry and, you know, and order directly from us as well via these apps.
Are these e-bikes?
We haven't gotten that far yet, but environmentally friendly, etc.
Would you consider not e-bikes?
Whatever works.
And where would you store the bikes? Where would you store bikes? People are not out making deliveries.
We would have a space.
People are not out making deliveries.
We would have a space specifically within the store to be able to store it specifically. We'll allocate storage space for it.
Document. So no letters of support.
Forthcoming.
Are your hours comparable to the establishments around?
Are there other places open till midnight on the weekends right there?
Sell the roads, that's true.
It's a good spot. I have any more questions? No.
Oh, okay.
Thanks so much.
No, thank you.
Thanks so much. Our final license for the night will be West Village Grocery. 31 Jane Street, Gardeep, Josan. Hi. No, they've been here. Hello. Hello.
I'm his cousin.
Nice to meet you. So this is, sorry, let me just pull it up. Let's see. This is an application for a full licensure for an adult use retail dispensary located at 31 Jane Street. However, 46 8th Avenue is the actual entrance. We did visit.
Yes.
You are a smoke shop, not selling illicit cannabis.
Yeah.
Yay. Let's see. You are the 100% owner, Mr. Justus? You expect to be able to, well, you hope to be able to open around April 2024. It's a minority owned business. We don't have any letters of support from that giant residential building above you, and in the application, you said it was 1 story.
Yeah, we'll be able to email you those. Yeah, we'll be able to email you those. Actually, a lot of tenants were asking us, like our regular customers, if we can apply for dispensary license. So it was a recommendation from some of our customers.
So I live right down the street. And you guys have been there forever. And it's where everybody in the neighborhood plays lotto. It's the only place to play lotto. I don't really play lotto, but I know that it's very popular. It's a newsstand. We don't have tons left. I guess right there on the Avenue we do. We have Opera Foods, we have the other one. But I'd be sad because if you guys get licensed for cannabis, there's no more newspapers, there's no more, lotto, there's not even any more soda.
Yeah, we'll get location next door and open there. Because this is like everybody else, it's like everybody thinks it's
What location next door, the laundry?
like we were at 48 8th Avenue, like previously next to it. Yeah. We'll open nearby.
Huh. Actually, you are not our last. There's one more. Sorry, that came in late, Jeff. Sorry for that. Wherever you may be. Okay. Yeah. It's state compliant. Is it unsuitable for us? I mean, is it across the street from a playground is the question. Do you take? How long have you been here?
13 years now.
13 years, it's a very long time.
Yeah.
Okay, does anybody else have any questions?
Can you talk a little more about the security plan? Because there's nothing really in the application or in the questionnaire.
Yeah, we'll abide by the OCM, like the regulations. We'll keep a security guard outside the store. Like we are licensed to sell like tobacco, hemp products, CBD. So in past 13 years, we've been abiding like the regulations, never any ticket. So we have experience in inventory management and checking IDs, not selling to underage. So yes, whatever is their guidelines, OCM will do that.
And then you say on here for hours TBD, but 11 to 9?
Yes, 11 to 9, that will be our hours.
Okay.
Are those your current hours?
No, currently we.
No, you're open in the morning.
Yeah, we open pretty much in the, like one of our neighbors, he's having the similar issue. We got so much competition, a lot of these unlicensed shops. So they sell a lot of the products that we sell. So business is a little bit down. And lotto is very little commission. It's not enough to pay rents these days. So if we get an opportunity, we'd like to change. And
I'm torn because I feel like you guys really fulfill a need in the neighborhood, but what happens if it doesn't work out? You just go back, right?
Yeah.
So you plan to open next door using your tobacco license? Yes?
Yes.
Yeah, once.
So who's the owner of the business?
Mr. Justus.
Of the cannabis business? And so what happens to the tobacco license? Can you have both? I actually don't know. Attorneys? Can you have both?
No.
Can you have both?
So.
Maybe we can find other location.
Other location.
So we move the tobacco.
Oh, you're moving the tobacco.
Oh, you're moving the
But you can't have
tobacco.
two licenses. So you're gonna have the tobacco license, he's gonna have the cannabis license?
Because it's statewide there, like I think 500.
Are you moving the tobacco license nearby?
Yes.
What?
We'll find
We're gonna find the
location.
Oh, you don't know yet?
He has been in that neighborhood for
Oh, you don't know
25
yet?
years, so
He has been in
you'll see him
that
around.
for the past 25
Yes.
years, so you'll see him
There
around.
in Bleecker.
Yes.
We came in today, matter of
Yes,
fact.
we don't know.
We can
We get a
say.
license. So
Yeah,
that's-
because only 500 statewide, so we took a shot. So we have like two locations, one in East Village, one in West, so we applied for both. If we get, why not? Like everybody else, we are trying. We have a lease, like long lease. We have experience in inventory management. Let's see.
That store is small, isn't it? Where are you?
Yeah,
gonna
like
Yeah,
store
where are you gonna store your product? That
six.
was the first
Yeah,
question.
we
I
have
forgot.
a big basement, so extra. And dispensary won't need that much space, 600.
No, dispensary needs space.
But right now we have coolers inside, those consume a lot of space too. So once they are gone, this with the showcases, the store will look big. I'm sure.
You guys need to take a really hard look at the regs as far as storage in your vault. See if you can even do it. Anyone else? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good night. Last but not least. You can wait. You don't have to. The decisions are gonna happen at the very end. We'll let you know. Who did you bring us? 69 Gansevoort, Griffon Green. Jeff Schultz. Where's your client?
I believe, and when you said it was the last one, he got up.
He got the questionnaire in last.
He got his
No, it
questionnaire.
was the last one you said was the people who just spoke. So he left. I'm here though, however, and I'm authorized to speak.
Okay.
But that was a big sitting there with me for the last 2.5 hours.
You might want to text him.
This is the deal.
Text him and told him to try.
Yeah. It isn't on the sheet because, you know, you guys got it in really late.
Yes. Yes.
All right. No, it's in there. It's in the Griffon Green. It's in there. All right, this is an application for adult use retail dispensary, full licensure, Griffon Green LLC. What is the name of the applicant?
Griffon Green LLC.
Bonnie.
Bonnie's the one who handled the application, the representative of the company.
Who is the owner?
The operator.
Sure, the primary owner is a guy named Michael Shaw.
And who is Michael Shaw?
Michael Shaw is my client.
Is Michael the one who left?
Michael's not the one who left. The one who left is Yoni Hadar. He's the 20% owner. I've asked him to come back.
Okay. Okay. So 80-20, Michael Shaw and Yehonatan Hadar. Looking to open March 2024, minority owned. Owner managed. This is the Florence space. So 69 Gansevoort is Florence. Beloved diner neighborhood. We've actually received a number of notices over the past several months, if not, I don't remember when the first one came in for this location, but you were able to secure a lease. I mean, the operator's not here. I really don't know how much we can ask.
I can do my best to answer on their behalf. Unless you magically appears to the door.
Sorry, I'm just looking. Do you
Not yet, but we can certainly obtain them.
Do you have letters of support?
Not yet, but we.
the outreach done to the other businesses on the block?
To outreach so far has been done to reach out to local precinct 6. Danielle Rizzacone. The Meatpacking Board, the Gansevoort Neighborhood Association.
Did you talk to them?
No, we hand-delivered a handwritten letter to Florence.
But no response?
Not yet. We reached out to RH Guest House as well. We can continue that outreach.
What about right there on the block? What about Pastis or Common Ground?
We'll reach out to everybody.
For Birch?
We can reach out to the neighbors and certainly talk to everybody. It's mostly
the residents of Goldcrest and Gold Coast,
Sure. I can add them all to the
Whitney,
list.
Warby Parker. Hit up the High Line. No.
The hotel.
It's important to talk to the neighbors, everybody. All
I
right.
don't frequent past these.
Delivery plan.
Yes.
Are there bicycles? I'm looking.
Should be in there. The full security plan got cut off. We didn't have enough space. Delivery plan should all be in there.
The delivery plan should all be in there.
I see it.
Bicycle delivery only.
Bicycle delivery only.
So bicycles?
Bicycles.
Where are you gonna store them?
In the
We're gonna store them.
right.
There's a yard in that building, isn't there?
Back, right?
Back.
Yeah.
It's not going to be used for consumption.
Is it gonna be utilized at all?
Might be a great place for bike storage.
Utilized at all?
No.
Would your client stipulate to only using it for bike storage and nobody hanging out or even, break room?
Sure.
Break room.
House your delivery
Where
staff
will
while they're
you
waiting?
house your
What
delivery
will be the
staff
waiting
while they're
area? I mean,
waiting? What will be the
The
waiting?
second, well, there's a
area? I
second
mean, it's
floor.
not huge
The
space.
second floor will have storage and a breakout office area. That should be for employees who are not currently.
Do you expect to do consumption?
No.
You'll stipulate?
Do
Yes.
you expect to do consumption?
No.
Hours.
You'll stipulate?
10 to 10.
Yes.
I'm sorry, 10 to 12.
What are the hours?
Sorry, 10 to 12.
Is that?
Is that similar
Probably a
to
bit-
other businesses on the block?
A bit later, but
Different type of retail location. Consumers who might be like a bar or restaurant. These is open
Like
past
a
10.
bar or restaurant?
Sure, but
Sure, past these is open past 10?
11.
Sure, but.
Did you consider 10 to
Would you
11 or 10 to
consider
10
10 to 11?
Absolutely.
to start
Consider
at least? And maybe come back and ask for longer
To
hours?
start it,
Makes sense.
and then maybe
Best
come
is
back
still open.
for.
Maybe they would like to enjoy customers there. Oh,
11. All right, any questions? Carter?
So your main investor has an adverse history with the community board dating back quite some time. With significant community complaints when he operated one of the adjacent businesses there. It's unfortunate he's not here, but it consumed a considerable amount of the community's time and engaging with it. They didn't adhere to any stipulation agreements. They're operating throughout their building without following any rules. It's unfortunate that we didn't get to see your questionnaire because it's not posted because it was late.
Oh, yeah.
And, but this is, I'd like to hear from your applicant about why we're not going to have these issues with this. That was a written agreement with this board, and he just thumbs his nose at it. So.
noted.
Will you have events?
No, none planned.
I am not familiar with Mr. Shaw's history with the board. Can you elaborate?
Yeah, it was at 5359 Gansevoort Street, which is what is now the Restoration Hardware Hotel, I believe, in that location. And there's a multi-floor, he purchased that building, this was some time ago, and it was licensed on the ground floor and basement, if I remember correctly. And there were also other events that were in the upper floors, and it created a significant impact on the local residential neighbors. I don't have everything right in front of me. That's just because it wasn't presented who the applicant was. Not, this is an issue, the applicant, not with the location.
Does Mr. Shaw own the property?
His business, a business that he owns the property, correct?
Okay.
The applicant's an affiliate.
I don't have any more questions. Anyone? Thank you, Mr. Schultz.
He called me while we were here. He might be knocking on the door. I will go look if you'd like to speak to him too.
You know what? If he does show, I think we can still hear him. We're gonna proceed. But we'll give him a few minutes when he comes back, because it was my fault. I did say that.
Okay.
So,
Thank you.
thank you. All right. I guess we'll vote on these. Go into business, well, we can't go into business session unless Mr. Shaw's coming back. Can we get confirmation on that? Oh, it was a 20% guy. Yeah, he can't answer his questions anyway, so never mind. All right, are there any final comments or questions? Ms. Peconic?
With respect to the Gansevoort.
Yeah.
Oh,
Give that one the microphone.
With respect to, I think it's 69 Gansevoort, we're excited to have a dispensary in the immediate area. Is there any way we can protect the sign? Because so much of our neighborhood is just getting whitewashed by stuff that didn't lend itself to its development. So that is an iconic sign.
Can I make a request of the community board?
We stipulate to maintaining the sign. It's really iconic. I mean, it is one of the most iconic signs in, there's a wonderful documentary. I think it's called Florent. It's probably streaming. It's less than 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Everyone should watch it.
It's Arnell Restaurant.
Okay. Can we avoid stipulate to things like that? Just out of curiosity.
We would have to ask the operator and or the landlord, and they're not here.
Okay, well.
So sadly,
Is it landlocked? I don't think it is. It is a sign
district, it doesn't mean.
I don't think it means that the sign is landlocked. Anyway, that was my only comment.
I say here to that. Yeah.
I believe that in the past, that it has been ruled by landmarks that the sign.
Oh, good.
Because there's been a business there since then, and it's still, they have not changed that. They changed other parts of the storefront, but not the signage. So stipulating that they would have would be good.
Thank you. All right, so. No more comments. We're going to go into our business session. You are welcome to stay and observe, but cannot participate unless we ask you a question. Okay. All right, so I think that what we need to do is vote on. Let's vote on all the ones that we haven't seen first. Let's just get them out of the way. So I would like to make a motion to deny every application that did not appear or present a questionnaire, and add to that denial when sent to recommendation of denial when sent to the OCM and CCP to also include proximity concerns and other concerns that have been raised here tonight. Yeah.
Is it sort of just in terms of timeline? Is it sort of a one shot, right? Like if we deny, and then is there any chance for them to come back next month or?
So if you look at the dates,
yeah,
we have 60 days
yeah,
past each of them. And if you look at the big spreadsheet that I sent you, that one tells you our last day to comment. So the great majority of these we have to see now. There's no opportunity for layover past what is today, the 8th. And Mark, do we know when full board's going to be in December? Any idea?
Yeah, it got moved up
to Tuesday. And give me 1 second, I'll give you the date.
Thank you.
It is not Christmas. Well, it is the 19th. Tuesday the 19th. Tuesday, 19th, that's correct, yeah.
So there are. Full board's the 19th. We could do another committee meeting.
Almost all of them.
It's almost all of them except
Okay.
those in this past week, and one of them we are. Okay. So there are only two we
Yeah.
could lay over.
It's almost all
I mean, anyway, it's,
And they're not
the ones.
here to request a layover.
okay. And I guess I would just want to confirm when the questionnaires go out. Week,
9 days ago.
9 days ago. Okay.
And I've been, of emails, tons of guidance, here's, what we'd like you to do, here's how to withdraw if you're not serious. Here's proximity, check flags, like this should be on your radar, you might want to check this out for weeks. So.
For weeks. So.
All right, so.
All right.
Did somebody second it?
Did somebody second it?
So moved.
So moved.
Oh, yeah, we have to vote.
vote.
Let's do a roll call vote. No, we're not gonna list out all of them. There are like them. No, we'll list the ones that we are gonna actually. Write resolutions on. And everybody can see the list. So. William Benish.
Yes.
Deny. Cheryl Wu. Patricia, and I am an I, so that's four, it's unanimous. Vote to deny.
Vote to deny.
And so let's go to the ones that we saw.
And so let's go.
Starting with Ballaghan.
We saw, starting with.
Thoughts?
Thoughts?
I have thoughts. My thoughts are it's too close to Paul's place. My thoughts are it's too close to the Y. I am not confident that. I don't think that we can be confident that it's not going to turn into consumption because of what happened in Northampton. And liquor. Possibly. I mean, if an operator that has the resources to rent multiple properties, I don't feel good about it. I just think it's an atrocious location, primarily. Yeah, and the Safe Haven.
Yeah, I mean, one of
Salvation Army.
Yeah. I mean, just one of the general thoughts I have, and I mean, it doesn't necessarily make a difference here is, why did the state not consider in terms of its official proximity regulations, situations such as this, right? As an oversight, and they kind of are hoping boards will comment on it. So I guess we don't really know brand new program. I mean, how much will, the state
I
take
guess
into
we don't
account
really know because it's a brand new program, but.
extra proximity regulations that we're putting into place that are outside.
That are
of what the law
outside.
is. I guess we don't know.
I guess we don't know.
We don't know, but I mean, I think that if, in this case, it's just so blatant, it's really, really bad location for this. Just poorly chosen. I mean, so I guess let's take a vote. Is everybody ready to vote? Or do you have a comment? Shirley?
No, I was just gonna say there doesn't seem to be any plans, no community outreach, right, to the Y and Paul's Place, and then there doesn't seem to be a plan, so, yeah.
The operator doesn't live here. And maybe that was part of the oversight, that they really aren't familiar with the community.
And even when we asked them, like, what are your plans? Are you gonna move down to New York? Are you gonna stay in Northampton? And it's just not clear at all. They haven't, it doesn't seem like they've thought about it. Right.
But Paul's Place is very opposed to this, I would guess.
Our
Or are they?
social services chair has expressed tremendous concern. She did reach out to Paul's place. They want to know more, but you know, there's also the why, there's also the Salvation Army. There, have you been on that block lately? It's not pretty. So I don't know. All right, do we think we're ready to vote? Okay, somebody want to make a motion? Do I hear a motion to deny? Spoke, William?
Yeah.
Cheryl? And I'm an aye, so that's a denial for Balagan.
All right, next one.
LTH LLC at 244 Lafayette. Proximity issue with that? Oh, we wanted to get. So how do we write that resolution? If we did want to deny, so it's a deny unless.
And that should be standard for all. That should be standard for all the writers.
Right.
With this one, we want to get the.
And the survey, so we want to attach the request for the survey to that.
The other thing is it's actually very close to 55 Springs. I don't know.
Oh, no, that, yeah.
They have, they're.
Well, yeah.
Do we know how the city's?
It's going into a lottery pool, theoretically. You know, the OCM, anything can change any moment. You don't know. You know what's gonna happen. So yeah. I would personally be comfortable with a deny unless. Let's vote. William, yay?
Yeah, that's fine. Yes.
Girl?
Yes, I like that there's
So yeah. Deny.
All right. So that's a deny unless. Next up, Enderman LLC at 55 Spring Street. Thoughts?
This is the one.
Yeah. Right next to a playground.
I mean, I can say I am sympathetic to the story that they told us. But I think if the state says, you know, they're going to deny when people have been operating illegally, then it is what it is, right?
I mean, we mirror the state guidance, and the state guidance is clear on this. So I don't, you know.
I mean, they seem to be able to do, you know what I mean? I don't know if there's, like, I'm kind of a little bit, like, I wonder if there's like a path, you know, from to move forward. So
In that location, right down the street from the playground, like on the same block.
Start an actual legal business.
I mean, yeah.
Location. That's what they're gonna do. That's our unofficial or my own.
For me, I mean, for me, I would like to see definitely it move. I wouldn't want to see cannabis on that block at all. But that's just me. And that's not the only one. There's another one on the block that also gave notice, but we just denied them. Another illicit dispensary at 33 Spring.
Yeah, and I mean, another thing is we've heard now a couple smoke shop operators come in and talk about how their longstanding businesses have been impacted by people selling illegally. So yes, I mean, we can be sympathetic to a story and also be sympathetic to, you know, the other people whose businesses, you know, illegal cannabis sales have been harming. So there's kind of two sides to that as well.
It's well put, William. Does anybody want to lead with a recommendation? Oh, please, Carter.
You know, this is something that it's going to come up on going to be a lot of stories, but, you know, I think the chair right in front of our board and meeting that was sponsored was very clear that if you've engaged in black market cannabis from the day after legalization, you're not entitled to participate. We have hundreds of applicants, if not more than that, throughout the state who have followed that. And it is a disservice to those who are trying to participate in the legal marketplace to engage with these types of applications at this time. You know, that's something in the future, perhaps differently, but there are plenty of people, all the hardship of the operators, the farmers, et cetera. You know, they've all tried to follow the regulations. And while the stories are, you know, certainly, bring up a lot of issues with people with existing businesses, it is all the people who are trying to do this properly that are the problem. In fact, you know, the city has so many storefronts that are confronted with this problem simply because there has been no enforcement. That does not mean that's what we lead with. And I just feel very strongly about that, because we're trying to get people who are following the rules forward first, right? And that's what I think we need to follow. And that's not to supplant any other issues, but I just feel strongly about that. And I think the chair, right, when she spoke in front of our board, was very eloquent in how she put that and why it was so important. And I think that everybody who was there agreed with her at that time. So thank you.
I tend to agree. I mean, we have two longtime smoke shop owners who didn't. Their businesses suffered, but they still didn't break the rules. So for me, there's just no excuse for me. Vote to deny? Do we have a motion? Yes, that's well, she just said yes. All right. I vote yes to deny. That's deny. It's unanimous. All right. Next up, Grand Peconic Ventures at 598 Broadway. No community engagement. Current operator of one of our dispensaries right here already. Interest in some other businesses. Was there an issue with the location? No, the location actually looked okay, didn't it? It was the issue of the neighbors of the joint live work quarters.
I'm still unclear about what the soft guidance versus the actual guidance that you get about the lottery.
These are like, about the lottery? Or about like the percentages and stuff? You can't be TPI to more than 3.
Unlimited assets, yes.
Right.
Still a TPI. No matter how much you hold, but they look the other way as far as that, as far as that TPI is concerned, if you're under that.
Yeah.
Legally. But a lot of people are going to be applying and, you know, should somebody who already has one have more this round? That's the question, really, for me.
Yeah.
Let's look. No, it didn't. It just says that Juan is the primary. He's the principal owner. So it's 51%, I think they said.
He's this majority.
Yeah, I think that Juan is 51%. Is that correct? Yes, that is correct. So in order for the application itself to qualify under C or special priority, he would have to be the majority owner, which again gives them a bunch. Yeah, but Juan also is an expert witness.
What are the other businesses?
Union Square Travel Agency?
Juan?
No. Juan is an expert witness and a service disabled veteran.
I mean, if he's an
Yeah,
expert.
the only thing I think with this is they're opening this huge shop.
Yeah, the only
They
thing I
talk
think
to
is
this neighbors.
they're opening
They've
this
got
huge
huge-
shop.
They're gonna hire almost 100 people.
They're gonna
Right,
hire
and it's 2 floors, several thousand square feet. They just gotta talk to neighbors, you know?
Yeah,
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
I wish Juan was here. My inclination is
I
to
wish Juan
deny and let them resubmit and come back after
resubmit
they've talked to the neighbors. That's
and come
actually,
back
that's
after
an
they've talked
option
to the
for
neighbors.
everybody
That's actually,
still.
that's an option
Because
for
OCM
everybody
is saying,
still. Because
I'm correct,
OCM is
right?
saying-
OCM is saying you
I'm
can give,
correct,
do
right?
your
OCM is
notice
saying
up
you can do
until
your notice
the
up
17th.
until The 17th.
Because they're not gonna look
Because
at
they're
the
not gonna look
applications
at the
until after December
until after
18th.
December 18th.
Therefore,
Therefore,
you haven't, you're still fulfilling your 30 days.
fulfilling your 30 days.
So,
So,
you know, if
you
it's a
know,
matter
if
of
it's a matter
somebody,
of
you
somebody,
know, needing to go back and do
needing to go
community
back
engagement or
engagement
that,
or that,
you know,
site
site survey, proximity checks,
proximity checks,
you can always come
You can
back and
always
say,
come back
you know what?
you know what?
We're solid,
We're solid.
and bring back what we've
And
asked
bring back
for.
what we've
So
asked
that is still an
So that is still
option.
an option.
Whenever my committee
When-
meeting is, when is our committee meeting in December? We haven't decided.
I definitely like to hear the story from Juan. It sounds like it's an interesting story. Disabled veteran. You know, I don't know if I'm comfortable saying I want to deny without knowing that story,
All right.
but that's just me. I don't know what that looks like, but I mean, others may disagree, but I really would have liked to hear from him.
Yeah. Procedurally, Mark, can we do
December 12th.
December 12th? Is,
It's your schedule, meeting for CLC in December.
okay. So can we,
The 19th.
can we allow people to withdraw at this time?
After they've already presented.
Yeah.
I imagine that's within your discretion. As long as they really do it. I mean, the one thing you can't. Why
Talking to the mic.
Exactly. So I think that it's within your discretion to do it, provided it's really done. The issue is that this is your one and only chance to make a resolution with respect to the presentation that's been made to you. And while we have it on recording, perhaps that someone withdraws, you'd want that in writing
Yeah.
so that you would then be able to say to OCM that this application truly was withdrawn and can back it up. So that's the issue before you.
Okay.
So
You also want to consider, as new business, as a policy for reconsideration of decisions, so that you can have a resolution. But if you discuss why you might revisit the position and just have some baseline criteria and perhaps a vote from the committee, if that's presented to you, you would then be able to revisit it while still preserving that right now.
Okay.
And obviously that seems to have been the case with
Okay.
a number of things tonight of not having everything.
Yeah,
Yes.
let's do that.
just to bookend it, maybe what you do is you pass a resolution to disapprove based on the representation that it'll be withdrawn. And then if it isn't confirmed in writing, then you have a closure, you have a disapproval that you can take to the bank, but without prejudice to it being withdrawn. Then if the person withdraws, you don't have to bring that to full board.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
right.
With the provision that they return. at our
Exactly.
December 12th.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. Hopefully upon being here.
Hopefully upon being here.
Well, that would be within their, if they withdraw and then decide not to come back, that's, yeah.
But that's always an option. Okay.
I mean, yeah, and some people may do that and realizing that their location's totally unsuitable. So, all right. You're not. Mitch. That was, we were getting clarity on the law.
You have to have your notice in by December.
You're out of order, Mitch.
Yeah, I was gonna say, either way of however you do, you can do both. You can still have a procedure for reconsideration, and I think that, my thing, I would think that everybody puts in their notice, that's their notice, and they may want to visit the board's recommendation. But I think people would be very uncomfortable withdrawing the notice. Right, but the board can change its position on something through reconsideration. I just say that because I understand why somebody doesn't want to risk withdrawing the notice, particularly with all the uncertainty and lack of clarity. But what I had suggested is reconsidering the board's vote once there's more information, right? So I think Will is right to be concerned. Other people feel another way and feel strong.
That doesn't stop the board from having a position. And it can be revisited if you get more.
All right.
Yeah, so what, I just want to make sure before I vote, I know
What are we voting on? I think I don't even remember now. So we are voting on, we were trying to figure out which one could come back. Juan. We were trying to figure out if they withdrew and resubmitted, and then you could meet Juan and really get the whole story, and that applicant would have the opportunity to do the community engagement.
So, I mean, so could it be
we can ask them if they're willing.
Well, could it be a form of deny and less, and then that would include a return and hearing from the actual owner, and then stipulate that we would reevaluate at that time, the community outreach or something? I don't know exactly what the wording would look like.
I don't know that it works with the timeline because they gave notice on the 5th.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It could be like another deny and less, and then
so I think
there's some regular stipulations, but like deny and less, like we're doing for everything else.
Deny and less, like.
Except there's additional stipulations to that, which would include a return. So it doesn't change the resolution. Is what
I would be comfortable with the deny unless we actually heard from Juan at a hearing.
Well, that's what I'm saying. One of them would be that he would come back and present it.
But then when do we issue the denial? Because it's going to be after. Or the approval, or the deny and less.
Okay.
The dates don't work. Because we only have, under this current notice, until I believe December 4th to comment. So if they don't withdraw and then come back on the 14th, and if they get a denial, they can also still resubmit and come back. There's no reason that they can't do it twice. And the clock starts whenever we get that next notice.
Well, could he come present at our full board meeting?
No. We have enough to do at our full board meeting. Carter wants to talk.
Having done this for a long time at the board,
Yes.
you're speculating on other people's decisions, but what's before you is your recommendation to the committee.
Yeah.
So whatever it is, that's your recommendation to the committee, you should memorialize that, whatever it is, and go forward from there, not based on speculation, because as we found over the years, people don't always come back. They go back, talk about it. In this case, it's even, as we had discussed, it's even unknown if OCM will take the recommendation of the board.
Yeah.
So it's more important to get what your concerns are out. If they think that they can have a better shot, perhaps they come back and they'll have a chance. It's still within the window. They still preserve their notice and the board could reconsider it. That's why I was saying, if you set up a procedure now, somebody can submit something to you and you guys can say, oh, we'll hear it in December. The full board resolution hopefully will be out in time before the deadline. They'll already have their notice and something, if they want to revisit it. I just say that because I think
What you're saying, without a withdrawal and a resubmission?
that it could be reconsidered. The board's recommendation could be reconsidered, but the only thing you run into, but that's why you have a recommendation now. You can submit again. I mean, if they're not considering the notice dates, there's some room here. I just saying your position as the committee is what's most important to reflect that, because if it's not reflected now, it won't be reflected anywhere. You could change your decision later, even if it's after the fact, and still submit it.
So it's two
But
things. One, we want to see the community engagement because it's big space, lots of people are gonna be hired, so that has to be done. And the second thing.
Right, but what is, how does that reflect in on the spot reso where we're taking a position on reconsideration? What is that language? No, nobody, everybody's tired? Yes, please, Susan, start chair of community board 2, Susan Kent.
I want to, support.
Yeah.
To continue what Carter was doing, by by developing a reso now, you have preserved your position, you've locked yourself in, you've made your statement. If there's time for reconsideration and they are notified, and you come back and you can then move to reconsider, it in no way weakens what you've done now. If anything, it enhances what you've been doing, because you've given someone an opportunity to present you with more information, have a more complete picture, and then your subsequent resolution is built on that. You are not harming your work, you are actually developing it.
So that denial would go out, but then later it could turn into
reconsideration supersedes it. The point is that you've got a procedure, you have demonstrated that you have followed all the steps, and at every point you have covered yourself. So that if that applicant doesn't show up, if they disappear, you are on the record. If they receive a notice and are informed of the opportunity and decide to take that opportunity, your reconsideration, then that's what ultimately will go in, and that's what will be evaluated.
So we're not worrying about the timeline. I dig it.
Exactly. Yeah. Just it's simpler that way, cleaner, and you will be. And you will never fall behind. That's the other point, is that you never fall behind.
Yeah.
You've heard something, you've dealt with it. If it disappears off the radar, it's done.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Susan.
Deny with a path. Deny with the reconsideration.
Deny with a path. Here, wait, hold on. Give me a second. Consideration.
Well, I would just say, like, it's unfortunate that this is the timeline that we have. Again, I don't know if I'm comfortable voting to deny based on the tight timeline that we've been given by OCM, and the fact that the applicant cannot show up to what seems like legitimate excuse.
I don't know.
So we have no way of knowing, but it sounds to me like it could be. So, I mean, it's unfortunate that that's the position we're sort of in.
All right. Deny. Let's see what happens here. Guide the reconsideration process. Final decision. Relevant. All right. Let's just work on the therefore be it resolved, which I guess. That we will have a reconsideration process of cannabis licensure applications previously recommended for denial. Yeah, this is a separate, no, this is separate. This is like a general, we're taking a position that we are able to do this, that we will, as a committee, reconsider. I mean, I feel like in this situation, we don't feel comfortable approving because we haven't, I mean, there are a few issues, right? No community engagement and no operator.
Present. Right.
So, I mean, but I'm also not comfortable because we don't know Juan at all. We don't know Mr. Torres. He didn't come. Do we think it's a relevant reason? It's not up to us. It may not be. How do we even know he is where he says that? Like, we can't say, but we would be remiss to approve something without meeting the operator, period, in my opinion. So do we want to write a resolution that gives us an opportunity and gives applicants an opportunity to come back and to reconsider?
And we are able to reconsider.
I mean, yeah, I think we should, I think we should. I mean, I think in a whereas, we should talk about that. It's, we've been given a one-shot time frame. And so it's not reasonable to expect that every single applicant can show up at a night. And we're being forced into this time crunch. And so this is perhaps the best way to deal with it.
Okay.
I don't know. What do people think?
Show up. I love it.
Yeah, exactly.
They showed up, which is great, but they're also supposed to show up prepared.
About, yeah. So are we talking about a general reso here to talk about how we're going to treat every application? That's what it sounds like.
The thing is to advise everybody, we always, for other things and other issues on the board, if anything's new, or something is new, the board will reconsider. If it's, substantively new, that would make a difference. Here you have plenty of things that could be substantively new. You just need a procedure that the applicants can follow and submit something to you guys to consider, right? It's not that you definitely consider, but how does you even begin the process so people are aware of that? And so that, any of the representatives or applicants who said, hey, wait, that's not really what it is. Let me bring you some more additional this, that, whatever, bring somebody, speak to you, address the concerns, and that there's a way that they know they can get onto the agenda, which is not necessarily a 30-day notice, right? As reconsideration. So, and
Reconsideration.
Okay, so we're voting on a resolution to talk about the path forward.
Reconsideration.
Just, yeah, reconsideration.
And then, reconsideration.
Do we vote to?
So basically, we're just saying.
Do we vote?
I mean, I think, yes. Isn't that always the case? Wouldn't we reconsider anything that wasn't like especially egregious?
It wasn't like especially egregious.
I mean, what if somebody comes to us and, the neighbors all come and they're like, well, this is the worst. And then a month, 2 months down the line, they're actually able to connect with their neighbors, which we see all the time.
Right?
Right. And they get it together and everybody's happier for it. And then we have an opportunity to say, great work. Now things are the way they should be. And now this just gives us the opportunity to reflect that and share that with the state and the decision makers and our electeds and the community. That it was not great to begin with, but it's all come around now. And we can also help facilitate whatever, if it's an engagement situation or there's a, sticking point, we can also help with that. I feel like this gives us a lot more leeway.
And we can give them priority.
And we can give them priority when they come back. That can go in there too.
Okay, so for those who come back, the recommendation for the reconsideration, when they do come back, having fulfilled what we asked them to do, we can certainly give them priority at the next meeting.
Yeah.
And they can leave early. They don't have to sit around.
All right, with language about the predicament that the OCM has put us in, the state has put us in.
Right.
And how we really are focused on supporting these licenses and operators to be the best neighbors they can be and best operators they can be. All right. Vote the resolution to be written.
All right.
Yes.
This is the generic resolution to apply to everything.
To our committee operations. For this CLC specifically. Okay, so now we're gonna go back and that. Grand Peconic.
Okay.
So is there a motion to deny at this time?
That's for reconsideration. And prioritizing the next meeting.
That the resolution can deny with a path, which is still a deny, but we'll put it in the language. Yeah,
Yeah.
the reasons. So moved, unanimous, 4 votes. The next one is Yogi Krupa, 171 at 171 West 4th Street. Owner Ketan Shah.
They also need the letters from neighbors with the energy, which is great. We want to make sure their outdoor space is not for customers.
They said they'd stick.
So they'll have to stick to that.
Yeah, this is the existing smoke shop.
Yeah.
And no e-bikes.
Right.
I mean, this is an existing smoke shop that, you know, refrained from doing what everybody else is doing.
Right.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Motion to deny unless voting.
Yes,
Romeo?
good for me.
Cheryl?
Yes.
Tricia, unanimous, 4 votes. The next one is 420 on 4th. LLC 78 West 4th Street. Operator Jimmy Sands. Principal was not in attendance tonight. Well, on their thing, it says 33.34.
I know, right? And his name is under.
66.
There was no engagement whatsoever on this at all. And it's a really tight block. I just feel like there's a monopoly happening on that block. And on that side of the street, a dispensary isn't cleaning that block up, especially when it's the same, you know, landlord as the person who had, you know, the people that have that horrible shed and, you know, that entire line. And it's, the block's not being taken care of by the same people. And then we have this, you know, wonderful applicant right across the street that I have confidence in.
I mean, I don't think we should, I don't know if it's our job to pick which of the ones across the street we like the most, but I think, I mean, maybe it is, but I think in this case, if we're, you know, I think it's the same as we've asked for others, is there needs to be outreach and it has to be to, you know, folks who are not affiliated with the applicant. Which hasn't been done. So I think it's the same thing. I think it's, you know, until actual outreach has been done, I don't think, you know.
All right.
I don't know. That's my.
Everybody gets a chance. All right. So, is there a motion to deny?
With a path.
So moved.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
All right. Blazing Up LLC. 178 Bowery, Miguel Bernard. What was the prox issue there again?
It's just.
No letters of support I have.
No letters of support.
Yeah, no letters from the neighbors.
No outreach. I was a little unclear on how it would work with the Bowery mission.
Right.
The one, I thought they were, you know, they had spoken.
They said a lot of names, but there are no letters. There's no evidence.
You said that reaching out.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't hear from any of those people. So for any of the,
That could have been a phone call, right?
and we didn't, there's not even a letter.
That they mentioned, and we didn't, there's not even a letter.
Thoughts?
Right in the middle of Chinatown. What do you think?
Yeah, I like they want to do
Yeah,
education.
But we already
But
have
just know-
an AAPI owned dispensary that we, that is doing the same thing. Within, like, right there. I mean, not that it's an either or, but at the same time, if we approve a dispensary and then we get an application within its restricted proximity, do we then have a responsibility to protect our primary approval? Because in approving, we're saying, we think that this is going to be great for our neighborhood. We like this operator. This is the dispensary that we want within this 1,000 foot radius. Are we not taking a position when we vote to do something? We've taken that position. So I wonder, I mean, the OCM is going to, once they approve something, that thing's gonna get 1,000 foot bubble. So if we approve, shouldn't we give 1,000 foot bubble? Do we not have a responsibility? I'm saying if we approve a dispensary on the committee level even, and ultimately on the full board level, are we then responsible for honoring 1,000 foot proximity restriction to another dispensary? Since we've taken the position saying, we like this one, why would we then approve another one within 1,000 feet, even though we don't know what OCM is going to do?
You approved the last one before we knew about this. So is it us taking the position on the one we like or just whichever one we first?
That's a good question.
This is also a window of applicants. Yeah. I think this is a discussion for later.
That's what I was saying is I think
Because the randomization is not us.
it goes into the lottery.
You know what? That's true. It's not us.
That's what I was trying to say, I think, is that, just because we approved someone a month before. Just because we approved someone a month before doesn't mean that they should necessarily get priority. It's the same window. Yeah, I was actually pretty okay with this one. I mean, it seemed like a very experienced operators. I felt like it was genuine about they were genuine about the outreach to the Chinatown and API community. Everyone showed up. I don't know.
So denying less?
Yes. What's the proximity issue?
We're talking about the one that was approved last month by our committee. It's nothing that's licensed yet, right? It's on the same window.
All right. Deny unless, yay or nay?
Yay for me.
Yay, unanimous? Oh, no, go, do it, girl.
That's okay.
A yay is a deny unless, so they need that prox check. And they need that site survey. Yeah. All right. Village Grocery on Jane, Gerda, Josan. All right.
That's gonna be flawed.
I'm a deny unless on this. We need, actually, no, we needed the. Actually, I'm a deny unless on this. I feel like.
This is the one that operated legally.
Yeah, and a long-term tenant of the building.
And a long-term tenant in the building.
Yeah, I mean.
They just need this letter of support from the neighbors, but.
Yeah, we should put that in the deny unless, but I think if we feel confident that they'll get it.
I think so, and the storage too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and the
Yeah.
storage thing.
Those two things.
All right.
I'm okay with that.
Deny unless.
Yeah.
Deny unless.
Yes.
William,
Yes,
Cheryl.
yes.
Unanimous.
Yes.
Last but not least, Griffon Green, 69 Gansevoort. Jeffy Jeff in the house. There was no operator. I'm just gonna skip everything. I'm gonna go with deny with a pass. And let's see what happens. Let's roll those dice.
Here, this
We need to hear from Michael.
Majority owner, he's 80%.
Okay.
Yes.
Agreed.
Yes.
Unanimous. Any new business? No?
I have a question. What is next month gonna look like?
Nothing. We have nothing. Unless people want to reapply. No, we're not doing motion things to adjourn after. Yes, is there a motion to adjourn? Second. Night.
All right.
Millet time.